Yajnasya Trayo Aksharaha. Trayo S-mark Ksharaha. Avagraha Chinha. Yajnasya Trayo Aksharaha. When you split it, it is Trayaha Aksharaha. Yajnasya Trayaha Aksharaha. Atharva 13:3-6. 13:1-3-3-6. Yajnasya Trayo Aksharaha. Yajna, we are already familiar with. Yaj Deva Puja Sangati Karna Daneshu. Yajno Vai Sheshtatamam Karma. Whatever you do in the best way is called as an yajna. You are familiar with that. Next. Of that yajna, Trayo Aksharaha. There are 3 Aksharaha. Aksharaha in colloquial language, you understand it as alphabets. But actually, Kshara is that which diminishes. Kshi Kshaye. That which depletes. That it gradually vanishes. Tapers down and vanishes. Aksharaha, opposite of it. Which doesn't diminish, which doesn't vanish, which exists always. That is the actual meaning of Akshara. That has been used for alphabets also. Yajnasya Trayo Aksharaha. Now such Akshara are 3 in number. That which doesn't deplete, that which exists always. There are 3 in number. Yajnasya Trayo Aksharaha. And these 3 are employed in Yajna. These belong to the Yajna. These 3 which doesn't deplete, doesn't diminish, which doesn't get extinct, belong to the Yajna. Yajnasya Trayo Aksharaha, and there are 3 in number. Now to get into it. The first interpretation some people give is, taking Akshara as alphabet, is these 3 letters are A, U, Ma. A plus U plus Ma, A, U, Ma. Now you know what A, U, Ma becomes finally? Om. And that Om is the one with which we begin everything. Omkara. We start everything with Om. And what we do has to be Yajna, so that Om belongs to Yajna. This is one interpretation. One interpretation some people give. But the depth is not as simple as this. It's a little more. This whole creation is an Yajna. Now you see the depth of it. The whole creation is Yajna. Because that's the best deed of whom? Of course, of Satchidananda. This whole world is created by him. And lot of systems and cycles are established in this. And it gives ample opportunity in abundance, copious, whatever you call it, opportunity for Satchits, for Jivatmans to progress, to gain spiritual strength, to gain spiritual purity, and be deserving for experiencing peace and bliss. This is the best area, Karya Kshetra. This is the best area for their work. Because it's best, this whole creation and what is running, the laws and rules and regulations and systems, they're all yajna. And which are these three akshara? Akshara means something which is eternal. This whole system, in this whole universe, there are only three which are eternal. They are Sat, Satchit and Satchidananda. They are the three. Sat, Satchit, Satchidananda. They belong to this yajna. How they belong? How they are part of this yajna? This whole universe is formed using the raw material Sat, the inert thing, which has changed into Panchabhutas, the five elements. And these five elements are the infrastructure of the whole universe. It's a proportion of these five elements that has become this universe. Take anything material. It's made up of these five elements. Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Jala, Prithvi. Then that is one which is eternal, an entity which is eternal, which never depletes, which never becomes extinct. It's never created also. Anadi Ananta. Out of it, this whole universe is made. Then the second one is Satchit, for whose sake this whole universe is created. The purpose of this whole universe is for providing an opportunity for the Satchit. And that is also Anadi Ananta Akshara. It never depletes, it never diminishes. But it's many in number because of their samskaras. It's a big chain of birth and death. The soul passes through this chain and gains and loses so many things, and it is a package of samskaras. That's also eternal. That is the second akshara. And who did all these things? For the sake of Satchit, using Sat, that's the third entity, Satchidananda, that is also an entity which is eternal. Anadi Ananta. No beginning, no end. And that is one and only one. That we have seen. Sayesha Eka Ekavrit Eka Eva. That is one, Satchit many, Sat many. Now these three, Trayaha, Aksharaha, they are never lost. They never are destroyed. They are there from time immemorial, and they will continue till time immemorial. Anadi Ananta. And these three are part of this very big yajna being performed by Satchidananda in the form of this whole universe which is created, maintained, and finally one day it becomes pralaya. The whole system collapses. But even then, when the system collapses, these three remain. Sat, Satchit and Satchidananda, they never get destructed. The system collapses. Pralaya is the collapsing of the system, but the basic three entities, they remain. They are Akshara. And again, creation is done by Satchidananda using Sat for the sake of Satchit. It will be created again. So these are the three entities which are eternal in nature. Trayoksharaha. And they are part of this whole universe. And that whole universe itself is considered as a yajna. So this is a deeper and better understanding of the piece of the Veda mantra than just saying the three aksharas Avama and Om. Of course, that can be also be taken, no problem at all. But a deeper one is the three entities, Sat, Satchit and Satchidananda, and they being part of this whole universe, which itself is considered as an yajna. Next one. This is Atharva 13.4.4. 13.4.4. 13.4.4. So Ryama, so Yasmark Ryama. So Ryama Savarunaha. So Ryama Savarunaha. Sarudraha Samahadevaha. Soryama Savarunaha Sarudraha Samahadevaha. 13.4.4. We know Satchidananda is one. Eka Eva, definitely one. No confusion about that. Now that one, they are telling this mantra, Saha Aryama. He is called Aryama. Sa Varunaha. He is called as Varuna. Sa Rudraha. He alone is called as Rudra. Sa Mahadeva. He is Mahadeva. Aryama, Varuna, Rudra, Mahadeva. There are many such things, many attributes given to that Satchidananda. Dhata, they call it Vidharta, they say, Agni, they say, Surya, they say, so many things. Just I'm taking just 4 in this piece of mantra. Aryama, Varuna, then Rudraha, Mahadevaha. Let me clear some misunderstandings about this, which has crept in because of the Puranic influence. We have to get rid of that and then look at it purely from the Vedic angle, and you'll understand so many things. According to Puranic background, these are different. Aryama is different. Varuna is different. One of the deities which takes care of the water. The deity which is in charge of water is called as Varuna. And then we have got Rudraha Mahadevaha. Of course, it belongs to one, and that is Shiva. Out of the Trinity, they speak of the Trinity, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. Brahma, the creator, a separate one. Vishnu, a separate entity which takes care of and maintains the universe. And Shiva, the Layakarta. He is called as Rudra and Mahadeva. But such things are not there in Vedas, because Vedas are very clear and categorical while saying that God is one. How about different names? Maybe. Any number of names that we speak of, we call God. They are all attributes of one single entity, Satchidananda. No confusion about it. Just because we find many names, we are not supposed to get confused that there are so many gods and goddesses. It's all one entity, Satchidananda. Then how do we converge, understand that it belongs to one entity, Aryama, Varuna, Rudra, Mahadeva? It's all because of the qualities, the different features that you find in Satchidananda, the different capacities, the different functions, the nature of it. Upon that, whenever we find a new thing, okay, we call it by that name. Whenever we are able to realize another aspect of it, we call it by another name. But that doesn't mean that they're all different but they are all to the same entity, Satchidananda. I repeat, it is, even though there are hundreds of names in the Veda, speaking about Satchidananda, it should be understood as the one attributed to one single entity, Satchidananda, not many. Monotheism, very clear about it. What is Aryama? First thing. Aryama, the root is Ru-Gatau. And that Ru-Gatau, that movement or change, is referred to as something which is a straight. Ru-Gatau is being straight, being transparent, being just. No partiality, nothing. It's just. It has set up rules which are the same for all people, at all places, at all times. The rules don't depend upon the individuals at what they do, and it's the same for all. Maybe we have got different strata in the society, in the world. Some are rich, some are poor, some are intelligent, some are not, and some are healthy, some are not healthy. So many things we find. But the rules governing all the Satchits is the same for all. The rules are not flexible. It is the same. That's why we call it as just. And there they speak of this reason and result, cause and effect. If you do this, this is the result. If you don't do this, this is the result. Fine. No confusion, it's very clear. And it's the same for all. Anyone who does it will get that result. Anyone who doesn't get it, it's a different result. Over. No exceptions, no recommendations, no influences, no partiality. Such a judge is called as Aryama, and that is Satchidananda. All are same in the eyes of Satchidananda. Nobody is great, nobody is inferior. That's its impartiality. The one who's impartial and whose rules are the same for all, that entity Satchidananda is called as Aryama. And because we are all the children of Aryama, the common name for all human beings is Arya. Arya has come from Aryama. We are all Aryas. Every human being. Our history speaks something else, and that history is man-made with ulterior motives. We cannot depend on that. History has misguided us. They speak of Arya who are in Central Asia, and they raided over the whole world, in particular India. They invaded. Arya can never be an invader. Basic thing. Because the very word Arya is one who leads life with light, with knowledge. A person with knowledge, they cannot transgress into others' property. They cannot invade. They cannot become invaders. If a person is an invader, he is not an Arya, simple. An Arya is one who is for friendship, who is for Maitri, is for cooperation and peace loving. He is an Arya. Because that is what the ultimate knowledge gives us. So the whole history, they have misinterpreted. It's man-made with ulterior motives, and let us not be carried away by the pieces of concoction named as history. The basic meaning we shall take. All of us, all human beings, we are children of God. So we are called Arya. Who But how far we fit to that name Arya, okay, that's a different issue. But basically, by default, we are all Aryas. Everyone, every human being. Wherever they are, at whatever time they are. Our responsibility shall be to fit ourselves to that default name called Arya. We also have to lead our lives keeping knowledge as our light, guiding principle, beacon light. Yes, we are fit to be called as Arya. Otherwise, we are Aryans by name, but not by nature and value and quality. Aryama is our only protector, our only benefactor, our only mentor, our only teacher. He is Arya. That is Aryama. Aryama is that Satyananda, one name given to it. Varuna, as seen several times, Rang Varane, one is worthy to be chosen as your guide, mentor, savior. That is Varuna, Rang Varane. One is worthy to be chosen by us. We need someone to guide us. Without somebody's guide, we cannot lead our lives because we are born with samskaras, but no knowledge of the world around. We started learning fresh, of course, with the influence of samskara. That's right. We carried forward to this birth samskaras and learned everything here. Now there are so many forces which guide us. And according to our samskara, we choose our guide. We choose our master, we choose our teacher. Fine. But who is worthy of being chosen? It's nothing but Satyananda. Because its lessons, its teachings, its guidelines are the best. Is there any partiality or discrimination? Definitely not. Definitely not. The teachings and guidelines are open to all human beings. All human beings, always, at any place. If you seek it, it is ours. No human being has a right to say that it is prohibited to such and such people at such and such a time based on their gender, based on their caste, race. No. That's all man-made, anti-social thoughts and processes. There's no such thing in the Vedas. Anyone who wants the best guidance, yes, it's for that person. I can choose this. They are free to choose. No partiality, no force, no discrimination. That's the beauty of the Vedic thoughts and guidelines. And that is Varuna. Then Rudra, we discussed several times. Rudra is the one who releases from tears, or one who is the cause of tears. Both will hold good. One who will relieve us from tears, that is provided we lead a just life, a humane life, a noble life. We will have no cause for crying. We can be happy, we can be peaceful. And the condition is, we should tread that path, guided by that Aryama Varuna. If we follow it, yes, life is wonderful. We'll have no tensions, we'll have no problems. When I say no problems, whatever little problem we have is manageable. So don't worry about it. 100% problem-free life is not there. Because our samskaras will be playing, will have its influence. But when I say we'll be happy, I mean very clearly that even those little problems what we face are manageable and tolerable, and we can glide over it, no problem at all. In that sense, we are problem-free. That is, we will not have any cause or occasion to cry. Whereas those who doesn't follow that path, one day or the other, they have to cry and tears will flow down. Ashru Vimochana. And that is because of the rules and regulations and systems which we discussed under Aryama, because it is there. and they have to cry. They cannot escape crying. That means they will be punished. They cannot escape punishment. And the one who has established such a system, which is impartial, which is universal, and holds good for all times. And that is called as Rudra. And who is that Rudra? The very same Aryama, the very same Varuna is also called as Rudra. Follow the rules, don't cry. Then also you are relieved from tears. Don't follow it, get punished and cry. Then also he is Rudra. Mahadeva. Mahadeva, Mahapujayam, Deva Divakrida Vijayisha, we got that root. And Deva is also understood as one who is giving. Devo Danat. That's how it is explained in the Nirukta of Yaska. Devo Danat. Mahadeva, great giver, Sarva Datri we call it. He gives everything needed for us, starting from guidance to material requirements. It's all given by God. The basic needs, we need air, we need water, we need earth, we need food. It's all provided, it's all provided. It's not a man's creation. It's a creation of that eternal entity called Satchidananda. So it's called as Mahadeva. It gives all, it has given all. Knowledge to basic needs. It's available. And how he has given, we have discussed several times, he has given it free. He has given it in a pure condition and has given it in abundance. If something wrong is there with that, it is our mishandling, misusing and abusing those things. We have polluted it. We are hoarding it. We are seeing that it doesn't reach all people. We are selfish. We are trying to establish our ownership on it. We can never be owners because we never brought it when we came here and we are not taking it when we die. And what are we? We are only trustees. It's given to our hand to manage it. And for managing, we get our salary, we get our payment, we get our returns, and that is sufficient for our leading our lives. We are not owners. We are never owners. Because this whole thing was there even before us, and it continues to exist even after our death. That is an eternal thing. We are only visitors. We have started visiting this at a particular date of birth, on a particular day, we cease to exist. And I say cease to exist, not the soul, but the contact between the soul and the sharira and the remnants, that ceases. We are gone. We are not owners, we are only trustees. And we have been endowed with, we have been blessed with, we have been gifted with so many things. And that is Mahadeva. One has given everything. And how they are, as I said, they are pure, in abundance, and free. That's why the gifts of God are revered. They're not to grumble, not say, I don't have this, I don't have that, this and that. We cry always. We are not having everything. We will never have everything. What we have to look at it is, do we have what we need? If yes, fine, we have got everything. Beyond our need, if we expect, yes, we are creating our own problems, we are creating our own tensions and anxieties, depressions, frustrations. It's all our own making. It's all our own making. Looking from the point of Satchidananda, he has given what we need, 100%. Free, abundance, and also pure. Its gifts are like that. Elsewhere it says, Bhadra Indrasya Ratayaha. Bhadra Indrasya Ratayaha. Rataya means gifts. Indrasya, of Indra. Say, apart from Aryama, Varuna, Rudra, Mahadeva, another name is Indra. Idi Paramaishwarya, one who is the wealthiest. Everything belongs to him. Everything is under his control. Now that Indra has given lot many gifts. Indrasya Rateha, how are they? Bhadra, Bhadi Kalyane. If you use the gift of God as it is, without meddling with it, they are all welfare giving. They are all peace giving. That's Bhadi Kalyane, Bhadra. Bhadra, Indrasya Rateha. We have to see it. We have to see it. What is its pure form, what is its virgin form, is free, pure, and in abundance. We cannot find a better gift than that. And who is that one who has given that best gift? Mahadeva, giver of all. And he is worthy of our reverence. If all our prayers are there, they are for that. If all our love is there, for that. If all our gratitude is there, it is for that. That's Mahadeva. This is the broad meaning of the word Mahadeva, which those who value Puranas have reduced it to one single God who rides over a bull. I think it is very ridiculous and meaningless. Think over, think over. I'm not trying to throw upon this idea on you. Think over. I have got such a vast and deep and sublime meaning for it, which has been reduced to something very narrow. And we got followers of Shiva, Mahadeva separately, we have got followers of Vishnu separately, and they fight over that Vishnu is great, Shiva is great, Hara is great, Hari is great. It has been a cause for disturbance, not of harmony. But Vedas are very clear that whatever name you call God by, they are all for the same entity, Satchidananda. And if you understand it, there is no fight at all between us. It's one God. He only is called as Aryama. He only is called as Varuna. He only is called as Rudra. He only is called as Mahadeva. When I say he, don't be again under the confusion. I have cleared it several times. God is not masculine. He is beyond gender. That he or she or it or that, use it because of the limitations of our language. That's fine. But the gender is the word in the language, but it is not at all referred to the object or thing or person or power which is signified through that word. So it should be very clear about it. When I say he or she or it, it doesn't matter at all. Forget about the gender part. For the sake of language, I have used something. But God is beyond gender. Why God? Even Satchit is beyond gender. Satchit is bound to gender because of its presence in a particular type of Sharira Indriya Manas. If Sharira Manas of one type is called male, otherwise female, or a eunuch. But when you speak of the soul which resides in it, that soul or the Satchit or the spirit is beyond gender. It's neither male nor female. Now, when these basic confusions are got rid of, as the whole life becomes simple, the whole life becomes harmonious. Because you don't have any point to fight over. It's gone. God is one. He's beyond gender. Done. All of us, we pray the same God. All of us, we call that same God. All of us, we are protected by the same God. And it's beyond gender. I cannot discriminate it as male or female or anything. It's one great power. And it's got the capacity to understand everything, do everything, and be everywhere. Omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent. It's the same for you and me and for everyone. This very realization itself brings all human beings together. We all belong to one jati, not caste, species. We belong to one prani varga, we belong to one prani prabheda, one species. The realization of these basic things itself will bring down a lot of conflicts. It's visible, it's visible. But still, unfortunately, we are blind to all these basic realities and fight over flimsy things, petty things, and create a lot of disturbance and unhappiness, tension, anxiety, ill health, everything, and spread it everywhere. It's high time we realize it. It's high time we follow it. It's high time we spread it. It's high time we share it. Saryama, Savaruna, Sarudraha, Samahadeva. Anything you can put it. Sagnihi, Savayuhu, Sayamaha, anything. Names are different. But what the names signify, it's one formless, omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient entity, Satchidananda. So once we realize this, we can see God everywhere. We need not go in search of God. Maybe it be a temple, maybe it be a mosque, or maybe it be a church, or a pedagogue, whatever it is. No. We can see in everything. Now where it is explained, we have seen Vishnu Karmani Pashyata. See the works of God everywhere. You can. So all these guidelines what we have got, they are all harmonious. They are complementary to one another. Next.
You did it.
ನಂಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. स एव मृत्युः स एव मृत्युः सोमृतम् स एव मृत्युः सोमृतम् सः मृतम् सो यस्मार्क अमृतम् सोमृतम् अथर्वा 13:4-25 13:4-25. It's a continuity, what we have been discussing. Sayeva mrityuhu somrutam. He is death, he is beyond death. He is death, he is beyond death. Now here death has to be understood very clearly. Death is not destruction. Death is not destruction. So when you understand that as not destruction, then things will be very clear. If you understand it as destruction, the whole thing gets distorted. It's not destruction. Mrityuhu, he is the master of Mrityu. How? Because he has established the big cycle of birth and death and birth and death. Mring pranatyage. What is pranatyaga? Pranatyaga is separation of the jivatma from the sharira indriya manas, which is inert. We are all combination of an inert factor and a conscious factor. Consciousness is the Chetana part, and the Sharirindra Manas is the inner part. And we reside, we means the Satchit, the conscious part, we reside in Sharirindra Manas, and unless we reside in Sharirindra Manas, and have our own Sharirindra Manas, we cannot function. That's the limitation of Satchit. We need a tool to act and to react. And getting it according to our quality and capacity and what we deserve is called as birth. Nothing comes afresh. Nothing is created. It's a union. It's a union of one factor, that's a Sharindra Manas, the inner part, and another part, the consciousness. The coming together of the two is called as birth. The conscious part is also eternal, an entity by itself, and the Sharirindra Manas is made up of the Sat, which is also eternal. So what has come together, one day they have to get separated, and that's what is called as Mrityu. How do you understand Mrityu? Mrut plus you. That's how we split it. Mrut plus you. You is Mishrana Mishrane. You Mishrana Mishrane is the root for it. That which comes together and which gets separated. And with what? Mrut. Mrut is the element Prithvi. Element Prithvi is also referred to as Mrut. Mrut, that element earth. And from you we take Mishrana. Mishrana, that is coming together. Now this whole body of ours, Sharirindra Manas, is made up of Mrut. That's why we are called as Parthiva Sharira, because we are made out of Prithvi. Parthiva Sharira, the mortal body. On this mortal body, after separation, goes back to the five elements. So this mortal body getting mixed with the Panchabhutas is called as Mrityu. It goes back to its original state. Amishrana, that is getting separated. Yes, this consciousness gets separated from the inner thing. That's also called as Mrityu. That's how we understand Mrityu, that word has come, has been derived. And we've got a big chain of birth and death. Big chain. And this whole big chain is managed by Satyananda, Sayevam Mrityuhu. He himself is the master of this birth and death cycle. It was not our creation. We are in it. We never formed it. We never did it. It's done by a third entity. Satchit, we are not capable enough to do it, strong enough to do it, knowledgeable enough to do it. And Sat is totally inert, has no consciousness at all. Then we infer a third entity called as Satyananda, which is omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient, and that's the cause of this whole creation. In particular, here we are discussing about the birth and death cycle. Saivam Mrityu. So Amrutam, that itself is immortality. That is, it is the master of that immortality. That is eternal. Satchit also is eternal, and it's possible for the Satchit to escape from the cycle of birth and death and be in communion with, in contact with the Satyananda, a state of bliss and happiness, a state of bliss and peace. So he is the master of that state. Once again, the same Satyananda. So that itself is Amrutam. So in Amrutam, there is no birth and death cycle. We get out of it and be in contact with the Satyananda for a long, long, long time, crores of years. Crores of years, we'll be in contact with that, and during that time, we are not in the birth and death cycle, but only in a state of peace and bliss. That is Amrutam. Now the same concept, the same idea is there in several other Veda mantras. Avidya mrityum tirtva vidya amrutam ashnute. What is that amruta there? That's this state of birth and deathlessness. No birth, no death. They're just in a state of bliss and peace. Trambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushtavardhanam urvarakam bandhanat mrutyor mukshiya ma amrutat. Again we have got the mrityu and amruta. And who is responsible for this? Trambakam. Who is that Trambakam? 3 plus Ambakam. Amba means power. 3. One who is endowed with 3 powers. What are those 3 powers? Creation, maintenance, destruction. When I say destruction, not total destruction, change. Disintegration. Generation, maintenance, and disintegration. All the 3 powers are with Satchidananda. So it's called as 3 Ambaka, Trambaka. There also it is there. Mrityor mukshiya, release me from the cycle of birth and death. Ma amrutat, but not from amruta. Yes, I want to be in a state of amruta. That's beyond birth and death. You may call it as bliss, you may call it as heaven, you may call it as salvation, you may call it as mukti, moksha, nirvana, anything. All refer to that one state of birthlessness and deathlessness. Amrutam. So this has been referred to as Amruta and Mrityu in different places. In different places, in different pieces of Veda mantra. All that we have to take in consolidation. We have to consolidate everything, understand. Sa eva mrityuhu, so amruta. He is the Mrityu, he is the Amruta. We are bound by the rules. We have to play according to rules. We have to live according to those rules. Yes, we are already in that birth and death cycle, fine. But we have got every opportunity to be out of it. How? We have to work for it when we are with birth and death cycle. It's a great opportunity we have got. That too in human form. Sa eva mrityuhu so amrutam. Satyenotabhita bhumihi. Satyena uttabhita bhumihi. Satyenotabhita. Bha is Mahaprana. Satyenotabhita bhumihi. Satyenotabhita bhumihi. Atharva 14:1:1. 14:1:1. Satyenotabhita bhumihi. Satyena uttabhita bhumihi. Bhumihi. Immediately understand it as this earth. Fine, fine. It's not against it. But the broader meaning of Bhumihi is this whole universe, the Karyakshetra. Bhu Sattayam, that which exists. That which exists. This whole universe, anything that exists is part of Bhumi. And in consolidation, put everything together is Bhumi, that is his own universe. Of course, taking this world as Bhumi, earth as Bhumi is also okay. This also exists. You also exist in it. That's okay, fine. Now this universe or this earth is uttabhita, is held up, is upheld. By what? Satyena, by truth. This whole universe is upheld by truth. The truth were not to be there, this whole bhumi would have been shattered into pieces. Now, because it is one, it is upheld by some force. What is that force? That is Satya. The Satya is the truth. What is truth? The basic principles and rules and regulations which are established in this universe, upon this earth. That's the truth. So it is up to us to realize this truth and tune our lives and thoughts and words with it, or lead a haphazard life without understanding it. The option is ours. If we take the first option of searching for truth and seeking for truth and searching for it and realizing it, yes, our life will be wonderful and our life too will be upheld. If we choose the second option, we are lost. We are shattered. We are burdened. We are subject to suffering. Very simple to understand. But to realize truth and seek it, yes, that is the toughest part of it. We have to do it. We have to do it. Life is not for sensual pleasures. Of course, we are not against it, but there is a limit for it. Beyond that, we are supposed to seek truth for a better result. What is that better result? We have discussed just now, that is to get out of this birth and death cycle. Because all problems, tensions, ill health, all these things are a part of this birth and death cycle. We don't want it, get out of it. How to get out of it? Seek for truth. Search for truth. Discover truth. That is the only gateway for us to get out of this birth and death cycle. Satyena uttabhita bhumihi. Held, we are supported by. This whole world is upheld by such truths. Realize it. So once we realize these truths, yes, we'll find a gateway, we'll find a door to get out of this birth and death cycle. If we fail to find it, we'll be revolving round and round and round in this birth and death cycle. We'll not find a way out at all. I have to give a comparison. It's like a chakravyuha. Chakravyuha. It's a maze. It's a maze. It's a maze where we'll be lost and we'll be roaming that maze. We go like this, we go like that, we go there, we get confused about the route and direction, again come to the same place, again go around. We cannot escape this maze. If you are searching for truth, yes, we can find a way out of this maze, and there is a way to get out of this maze. And how you get it? How you reach it? That door to get out of it? Search for truth. Search for truth. You are out of it. How do you identify truth? And how do you get out of it? How do you search for it? Yes, we got a lot of guidelines for that. Truth is something which is the same for all people at all times. That's the definition we have. Fine. We are given to understand so many things. Out of them, it's a mixture of truth and untruth. Truth which is permanent, nitya, and something which is not permanent, which is temporary, mithya. Can use that word mithya also for this. There is something which is nitya, eternal. There is something which is not nitya, eternal, but temporary, changing. If it is changing, it is not truth. It's not changing, that is truth. If it holds good for all, without any discrimination, that is truth. We have got different rules for different people. We have got different rules for different countries and nations. It's not truth. If it holds good for all times, past, present, and future, that is truth. If they change, we have got one rules yesterday, we have got something today, we have got something else tomorrow. If it is changing, it is not truth. We do have such factors also. So it's up to us to pick out the elements of truth out of all this. And that is seeking truth. And once we realize, yes, we get the key to get out of the maze. And we are ensured, Satyena Uttabhita Bhumihi. This whole universe is upheld, is supported by that Satya. And we are also saved. Satyena Uttabhita Bhumihi, Atharva 14:1. And who can seek truth? Who can discover truth? It's only the species called as human beings have got the capacity to do it. No other species has a capacity to search for truth. They cannot even visualize what truth is. Because they work on just their instincts. Nidrahara bhaya maithuna, over. That's the end of it. As human beings, we've got something beyond these basic instincts. And there comes this discovery of truth. There comes the search for truth. More and more we realize about truth, life becomes simple and happy. And we are out of this maze. Even though we are in the maze, we are comfortable because you know from where we have to get out. We are not amazed. We are not in a suspense. We know, I go like this, right, left, okay, this is the way out. It's very clear. So until we get out of this maze, even though we are in the maze, we are comfortable. Because we know from where we have to get out. A roadmap is ready with us. And what is that roadmap? Realization of truth. Realization of truth. We have to work for it. We have to search for it. We have to experiment it. We have to experience it. We have to visualize it, realize it, say anything. The map is ready. The maze is very clear. It's not no more a maze for us. It's just a travel. It's just a travel. We travel and get out of it. And it is because of realization of truth. And that truth is the savior. That truth is a savior of all of us. Realization is truth. Satyena Uttabhita Bhumihi. The whole world is held up. The whole world is supported by this Satya. How I'm sure about all these things? I got other mantras which are complementary. Satyam Bruhad Drutamugram Diksha Tapo Brahma Yajnaha Prithvim Dharayanti is another piece of the Veda mantra. Along with Satya, they count another 7. Satyam, Bruhat, Ugram, Satyam, Bruhat, Rutam, Ugram. Diksha, Tapo, Brahma, Yajnaha. Prithvim Dharayanti, Dudhai Dharana Poshanayaho. This whole world, this whole Prithvi. Prithvi is, once again, this earth, it's also Prithvi. The one which is a wide expanse is also called as Prithvi, Prithvistare. This whole universe is spread across in all directions, infinitely. That's also Prithvi. Now this Prithvi is Dharayanti, is supported by, held up by Satyam, Brahad, Rata, Mugram, Diksha, Tapo, Brahma, Yajnaha, 8 factors. And which is the first one there? Satya. Satyena Uttabhita Bhumihi. Both go hand in hand. This is the beauty of Veda. If you take something, if you want to understand what it is, there are so many supporting Veda mantras, complementary Veda mantras. Take it, this thing will be very clear. No confusion, no contradiction whatsoever. Instead of contradiction, they go hand in hand. One explains the other explains another one. Those links you must be able to understand. Then it will be very clear. So truth is one very, very important thing what you have to realize in human life. To be precise, in this human life. Because what happens next, we don't know. We have a human life now, make the best use of it. It's a great opportunity what we have got. Miss not. If you miss, it's gone forever. We don't know what happens next. Because once we leave this body, the soul is under the control of that Satyananda. It's under the mercy of that Satyananda. What happens? We don't know. But one thing is clear, that Satyananda is very just, impartial. It will give us the results what we deserve. Maybe a reward, maybe a punishment. We don't know. We are not able to calculate it. It is beyond our accounting principles. So when an opportunity is there, make the best use of it. Over. Now the opportunity is there, make the best use of it. And for whose sake? It's for our own sake. How do we do it? Live harmoniously with all other creatures. Very simple. Live harmoniously with love and Maitri Bhavana with all living creatures. That's the way we have to realize truth. And it's beneficial to us and all the living creatures around us, all the fellow beings around us. Selfishness, fighting, disturbances, jealousy, poor desires, anger, they're all a hindrance in search of truth. They all pull us this way and that way, and we miss the main route. The main road, we miss it. When we free ourselves from the clutches of these disturbing factors, yes, the road is very clear, the path is very clear. And the clear path is the path of truth. And that holds us up, that guides us to the goal and gives us the required results. Satyena uttabhita bhumihi. Satyam bruhad drutta mugram diksha tapo brahma yajnaha prithvim dharayanti. What is your prithvim dharayanti? What is uttabhita bhumihi? Same. Same. The essence of both is the same. The way of expression is different. Here it is Satya emphasized. There along with Satya, 7 other things are enumerated. Whether we take that mantra as our guideline, whether we take this mantra as guideline, whatever it is, ultimately the path that we have to take is fixed. If you want that peace and bliss, we have no alternative. We have no alternative. That's also not my word. Na anya pantha ayanaya vidyate. That's another piece of the Veda mantra. It says this is the only path that is available to us. And you don't have any other path but this. Na anya pantha ayanaya vidyate. For your journey, for your progress, for your bliss and peace, this is the only path. Repeat, only path. You have full freedom. If you want to take it, otherwise you forget about it. But if you want peace and bliss, this is the only path. This is the only path. You cannot escape from it. You have to tread that path, and that path alone, because it's the only path that takes you towards that goal. Every thought, every idea is supported by this Veda mantra, and you study this in this angle, with this perspective. Otherwise, we miss. Okay, think over. Thank you very much for the day.